Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special guest for the podcast today. He owns the one thing that every single Bears fan envies. Football fans everywhere wish they could build this immaculate man cave that this guy has. He is Josh Havens, but you may have seen him on social media as bearsuperfan44. Make sure you head over to TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, so that you can envy in the man cave that this guy owns, because I most certainly do. Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Havens, a.k.a. bearsuperfan44. Josh, how are we doing, my man?
Good. How you guys doing tonight?
Great. Enjoying my dainty little man cave as I adore yours. So, can't complain.
Right.
I was going to say, right as you came on the screen, I was like, holy crap, there's 3 TVs behind you, which is not even close to as many TVs as you have in there.
Right.
And it's just, that's amazing.
Thank you.
That is so cool.
But I will actually just get right into it. How did you start with the cave?
So we moved here in 2015. Every other house had a traditional basement. We really love the property here, but the only thing it was lacking was a basement. So had a 4-car oversized garage, and we talked my wife into letting me take half of it. So then this actually was an all open area, both garages. So we put a wall in between, and then I just started going to work with the metal around the bottom. And then I already had a bunch of the wood, so I was like, to kind of just give it a different flavor than just drywall. So we're like, let's just do a wood, and it just kind of kicked off from there, really. And then, as you see, it just kept going and going.
So I'm assuming that's when you say you got that 4-car space. Is that when your videos start and you're walking in? Is that the wall you put up right down the middle of the garage there?
Yeah, if you see that glass door, that's where so on the other side obviously is the regular garage where we have storage and can park a car if we want. But yeah, then when you walk in the half is the other half of the garage. So
very cool. Did you ever imagine that it would grow to what it is now? And as people can see on the background, or if they find you on Instagram or TikTok, did you ever imagine that it would grow to what it is now, or was this what you had planned all along?
I kind of had it planned, because I know you know how it is. If it takes one video, just go crazy, and it's always the videos that you really don't work on. So there was one a few weeks back that I just kind of scanned around here for 14-15 seconds, and it's got, I think, almost 7 million views now.
Jesus.
So yeah, if I put time in a video, it gets nothing but just some random stuff. It goes crazy. And I put the work into it, and I think it's definitely original. There's not a lot of garage caves, a ton of basement caves. So then we kind of added on last year with the door outside going to the pool and all that. So is it where I think it is? I think so. So we've been working hard out here for 8 years, really.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'd seen pictures of when you said you first started with it, and it was just, you kind of just had some TVs up and whatever. And did you have like a plan starting off, or did you just kind of over 8 years just start putting stuff up and go, oh, this would be cool?
I really didn't have a plan at first. I just had some random stuff that I just threw up. I had White Sox, Bulls, Bears, Notre Dame. The more I was on social media, I really liked the look of just the one designated or devoted fan area, I guess, or fan team. I had more Bears stuff. I watched the Bears more. So I was like, let's just make it a Bears cave. So in 2018, going into 2019, we did a remodel out here, and then started with the Bears stuff. And then I'm pretty good at thinking of the next thing I want to do. So everything has been pretty much planned out, unless I've seen it on the internet or my wife shows me stuff on Pinterest, and it just keeps growing. So I just put a 103-inch TV or a monitor screen up last weekend. So
holy cow!
It never seems to stop. Yeah,
that's crazy. Do you do anything different when the Bears aren't in season, when it's off season?
It seems like we watch all sports out here. We're out here at least once a week anyways. We're big MMA fans, UFC and all that. But with the Bears, football anymore is a year-round thing. They've kind of spread it out with the draft, free agency, mini camps, and so by the time you get out, you really don't get a 2 or 3 month break. We went to mini camp this year in Indianapolis and Chicago, so I'm pretty consumed with that. I don't really get into other sports because I'm consumed with the Bears. Seems like all year long. And yeah, I mean, I watch a little bit of baseball, but it's 99% Bears for me, really.
That's awesome. So I would imagine with a space like that, you must love to entertain. Do you just like invite the whole neighborhood over? Or is this like a close knit group of people that are allowed to enter and come hang out, or how does that work?
I mean, I get a lot of people ask if they can come over here. First of all, they don't realize I'm not in Chicago, so they don't want to, once they find out I'm in Indiana, it kind of changes the mood about driving here. But as long as they're cool and I can kind of gauge talking to them, I don't mind them coming here. I mean, I'm going to check them out first, but every week, every game we have sometimes 8, 7. We have last Raiders game we had upwards of 20 people here, Raiders fans, Bears fans, and we open it up, and we doing a food drive this year, so people are bringing cans of food, box food.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
We're going to donate that to our local pantry, so I feed everybody that comes over here as long as they donate, and so it's pretty much open to everybody, and we don't hold anybody back. We had some people drive from Chicago for a Monday night game and hung out with us. I met him on Instagram. He's a cool dude, and he made the trip here.
That's awesome.
Before it gets cold out, when you get the garage door open and everything, that's a cool setup when it's all the way out too. We got the tents.
Yeah, I get the tents out and I put a TV out there, and we have 8 or 9 people just love to sit out there and watch, and then it gets full in here. So I mean, it can get hectic sometimes. My neighbors wonder what I'm doing every Sunday when I'm out here acting crazy. But
why is the block all full? Why are there 10 cars here?
They're like, they can't believe they're here to watch all these people are here to watch the Bears when they're stinking this bad.
Yeah.
Have you noticed, like, on social media with, your cave, have you noticed that, like, more people are either building these or, like, putting them up on social media? Because, like, I feel like ever since I follow, a couple Packers guys that have a garage or a basement, and now, following you, I'm seeing more and more, like, it almost feels like a fan from, like, every fan base is really blowing this up on social media. Is that something that you've noticed since you started posting on TikTok and Instagram?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I've followed. I'm sure, I don't know if you follow the Drew Cave or not, but he was one of the first guys I followed as a big Packers fan, and he's a real cool dude, inspirational. Got a lot of good ideas from him. But I've kind of thought of a lot of. I feel like I've thought of a lot of ideas myself, and then people have kind of either piggybacked or took them from me. But I think I think it's cool when they do that. So it's like, hey, they're liking my idea, they're doing it too, and it's kind of turned into a frenzy with kind of the group that I follow, and they follow me, and we're kind of just bouncing ideas off each other. And I'm not
in it's like a community.
I'm not in competition with nobody. I'm just here to have fun and bring awareness to the Bears fans around here. So.
Absolutely.
Especially with how viral everything can go so quickly, with your video going on Barstool and stuff like that. It's just like you see one video, and the next thing you know, then there's just other people want to do it. And because before social media, people might have had different stuff, but never really put it out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, it just takes that one video and just to go crazy. I mean, once I put that one up, I had ESPN contact me, Barstool, both Barstools. I had a few other ones that contacted me, asked me to use it, and I don't think they ever put it on just because I think they noticed that the other big ones had already done it. So, but yeah, it's a lot of people are trying to get that. I'm not really trying. I just kind of do what I do to have fun, man. And if it goes somewhere, it does. If it doesn't, it's not a big deal to me. So
that's what it's all about, man. Just enjoying what you have, and as long as you're having fun, like, that's what it's all about.
Exactly.
Well, what you enjoy is the Bears. What are your thoughts this season, just so far on the season?
So I predicted the Bears were going to win 7 games this year, which I still think they can do that. The back end of the schedule is a little light. I think we can win 3 of those 5 games. So I think my prediction's coming true. Did I think we'd stink this bad at the beginning? No, but if you really look back at the scores, we haven't been blown out, but maybe twice, I think. They've been pretty close games. So I think we're on the verge of it. I like the fact that Eberflus took over defensive calling, because once that happened, the defense has been playing well. And I never was really a fan of the other defensive coordinator, even back when he was in Minnesota. So I think that once he was gone, that now that Flus is calling the plays, good defensive coordinator. Do I like him as coach? Not at all, man.
My
Just
dad
demoted.
were talking today. Is there any way that you can just kind of just demote him to defensive coordinator and then just get a new head coach?
Yeah, I think these. I've never seen that happen before, but I think they're so prideful that it's probably hard pill to swallow.
Yeah,
So they
that'd have
probably
to be
rather just
tough,
go to
but
another
it'd
team.
be awesome for the Bears.
Oh yeah, it would be. I mean, I love how he's calling plays, and then if you think about it, back when I don't remember if you know this, but when they brought in the analyst Phil Snow from he's a free agent, but he was at Carolina the year before. Ever since he's been doing the game planning the week ahead of time, they've been killing it on defense. So I don't know if that has something to do with it or just coincidence, but it's a point to take, I guess.
Yeah, because that defense looks so much better than it did at the beginning of the season. But it's just that it's like with the Bears, they can never just have a good offense and a good defense.
Right.
One or the other.
It's honestly mostly never a good offense to me. I mean,
yeah.
I was getting like a little bit happy last year because we had that little stretch where we were scoring about 30 a game, but then the defense was giving up 40 a game. And I was like, well, we can get the defense straight. Now the offense look good, but then you just revert back to the same old scoring 14, 10, 11 points a game. So
you said you watch a lot of the off-season stuff, obviously big mini camp. Like, where do you want to see the Bears go in, the draft this year for you? I know that's the big talk, right? Tanking, with having Carolina's pick and then having two, a couple of weeks ago it was having 2 top 5 picks. Now, like you said, Bears playing a little bit better, looking like 2 top 10 picks. I guess what my real question is here is, do you want to see the Bears take a quarterback in that top 10?
Nah, I don't. Man, I'm not too confident with Caleb Williams, just his stature, his size, and then I feel like he's a little bit too cocky. And those Lincoln Riley offenses, they never produced really great quarterbacks. So I'm not 100% sold on it. I'd rather keep Justin in that. I mean, you really have him for 2 more years if you want. You can do what you did with Mitch and maybe decline the 5th year. And if he doesn't work out next year, then yeah, maybe it might be time to move on. But if not, you got the 5th year, bring him back or give him a big contract if he kills it next year. My opinion, though, right now is that just not confident in these quarterbacks that are coming out, in all honesty.
Yeah. And it's crazy because like a month ago, everybody was like, oh, Caleb Williams is the next guy. And then it was even Drake May is the next guy. And, obviously with Michael Penix even later in the draft, it's like, yeah, but at the end of the day, these are still very, very big question marks. These are college kids that have all shown that they might not have what it takes. And you see it last year. I mean, people, thinking that Bryce Young was the obvious one, and now CJ Stroud is clearly outplaying him. It's such a, flip of a coin. So you'd rather go get like Marvin Harrison? Is that one of the guys? He's the one that gets talked about on this show all the time. Are you on with that?
Yeah, I'd love to have him on the team because I think you put him with DJ Moore. I mean, how are you going to stop that tandem? Hey, keep moving Mooney in the slot if you can re-sign him for a decent contract, or go out and get a slot. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity out there. I think our defense is so close that we can probably maybe get that tight end from Georgia too. Take them first couple picks. You imagine that in the offense with Matt? I mean, so I think sky's the limit.
Because this season, it's shown it's been a long time, but the Bears have a legitimate number 1 wide receiver. And DJ Moore has shown that with especially the 1,000 yards this year, which it's a very short amount of the list is pretty short of wide receivers Bears have had with 1,000 yards in a season.
Yeah, I was actually kind of shocked that he already had that when I saw that because there's still 5 games to go.
Yeah, I think he got it right on that last play that set up the field goal.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm excited to see what they can do, especially with the bye week. Kind of comes. Crazy how late the bye was this year for them, but it's come at the perfect time because maybe they can kind of go on a run here with the defense playing well and Justin Fields really needing to play well.
Right. And having that Carolina pick is, I mean, you can go out and play free and win games because you still got Carolina's pick. It's not like you're completely tanking your pick.
Yeah, they actually got an easy kind of. I looked at their schedule too. Their schedule is somewhat light at the end, and then the other team that's thinking, I can't think of who they are right now, but their schedule's a little tougher. So I could see maybe them slipping down to 2 or 3. I don't know yet. So
then the Bears have to play the Cardinals, so I don't know. It's kind of what you don't know what to do there. You're going to want to win, but with them having the two wins right now, they're right around that one spot. So, but
Yeah.
Yeah, the problem is there's a lot of bad football teams. The Giants, the Patriots, the Cardinals, Panther. There's a lot of
it's the
Oh,
craziest
yeah.
thing about the NFC. The Bears are just a few plays away to ending games of actually being in the playoff hunt.
Yeah.
that's
I mean,
crazy.
they could have that Denver game and the Lions game, we should have won those games and we'd have a better record than your Packers right now. And
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I mean,
You're not wrong.
we'd be in the playoff hunt too, just because the NFC is just kind of weak this year I'd say the middle half part of it. There's a few top teams, but then there's a bunch of 4 or 5 win
I feel
teams.
like the whole NFL is insanely top heavy, but the NFC even more. I mean, like
It's
crap
Eagles,
on the Packers
49ers,
here.
and
yeah,
then the rest
the
of the
Packers
league.
are not a good football team, and like if they just get a couple things done in the last 5 weeks, like they could be a playoff, which is insane because this team is not as good as the Packers team from last year, and they still might make the playoffs when last year's. That's just the NFL though.
Yeah, absolutely.
How long do you think it will be before the Bears make it back to the postseason?
I mean, I agreed with Poles when he said it's going to be a 3 to 4 year rebuild. I think if they make the right moves next year, maybe next year could be it. I mean, I know the one things we need was we need a center. We're going to need probably a safety to replace Eddie Jackson. You're going to have to figure out what you're going to do at corner with Jalen, whether you're going to have Smith take that spot because he played well the other night, or draft there. And then obviously if we can get another receiver, I don't think we're that far away. I think what hurt us this year at the beginning too is all those injuries in training camp. They just got their offensive line completely together last week or so, where all the starters were actually in. So injuries played a factor, I believe, and there's a few little holes left, but I don't think we're that far away. I could see us sneaking a wild card next year, actually.
And it helps with the way, like we were just talking about, with the NFL, you can easily go from a top 3 pick to a playoff spot in a very short amount of time, unlike some other sports.
But will you get that with a rookie quarterback? I don't think so. I think you're going to be back to 2 or 3 years away again.
Yeah, that's so true. I'm just so tired of having to it's a restart. You say what you want. I mean, they're not going to be where Justin Fields is next year. I mean, Justin Fields has all this time underneath his belt, playing quarterback and stuff like that, and I just want to see him with the best opportunities around him.
Absolutely. I've always say the Bears are a rinse and repeat. It's fire the coach, get rid of the quarterback, get a new quarterback, get a new coach. Then you get rid of the 3, GM, coach, quarterback, and it just keeps repeating itself over and over.
So with that being said,
Poles making that move for Sweat, that really makes you so much more confident in him.
Yeah, and I really like Sweat and Dexter in the middle. Man, he's coming on lately too.
so I'm assuming you
finally put on the quarterback.
Huh?
The pressure, they're finally putting pressure on the quarterback, and it shows with all the interceptions too.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Like I said, I don't know if it's just because we're getting healthy or whatnot, or the defense is kicking in, but Sweat has made a big difference in ever since he's been here in the last few games. I mean, we've getting a lot more pressures on the quarterback. So
is it safe to assume that do you want Eberflus to stay? Do you want Poles to stay? Like, keep it copacetic, like you say, the Bears aren't that far off. You don't necessarily need to make a change.
I want to keep Poles because I think he's done well. I think only a couple he's missed on is probably Velus Jones and obviously Chase Claypool.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are his 2 misses, I think. I mean, but I like Ryan Poles. Eberflus, it's not just his it's just his coaching. I hate the fact that I see him not calling timeouts when the clock is winding down to 0. It doesn't seem like he's paying attention. He seems like he's flustered on the sidelines. He doesn't throw challenge flags when I think he needs to be. He threw one the other night that he didn't need to throw. So I'm not sure he's head coach material. I think he's a hell of a defensive coordinator, but
he doesn't really know how to talk to the media either. That's just like he doesn't know what he's gonna say.
Yeah, and actually it's gotten worse. If you watch some of his earlier press conferences, I was actually impressed with his very first one, and then it's just I don't know if it's because the losing is getting to him, but he's gotten way worse.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, it would just be awesome if they're like, take the pride out of it. We're gonna make you the defensive coordinator. You're gonna stay here, but we're gonna get a new head coach.
Right. Yeah, and that would be even if the new head coach would want to keep him.
Yeah,
there.
we don't want to keep him.
It might be odd kind of working together.
Yeah, that'd be.
Yeah. Well, when I was
tell him
the
that he's
coach
gonna be
last
defensive
year, I did
coordinator,
this.
bring a new coach in, and then they fire him.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, last question. I got a couple more questions before we let you go here, Josh. On a scale of 1 to 10, how sick is that mini jumbotron you got hanging from your ceiling right behind you?
Oh, it's definitely a 10. I love it, man. It's 4 TVs. Some people don't put one on the short side, but I was like, screw it. I don't want it to look normal, so I love it. And we have the Sunday ticket, so I can watch if there's 10 games, 8 games going time. We can have a game on every TV, so it's just awesome. So yeah, you come here, it's like a sports bar. You pick your. I have people like, hey, what other game you want to watch? We can put it right behind you or whatever. So we're watching.
You can sell tickets and host
the
NCAA tournament with all those
with
all that going on.
Oh, easy, yeah. I got more TVs.
I think I got more 8-hour days.
Yeah, I got more TVs. I got more TVs than their games are going on usually. So
that's true. That's true. And last one I had for you: is there anything that you would change or do different than what to get you to where you're at now with the cave?
What I tell everybody usually is that if you plan on doing this, do not go cheap at first. There's a lot of things I tried to cut corners at, and if I would have just done it right the first time, I would have saved money. And even if I had to spend a little bit more at the beginning, there's a few things. Most of them are just upgrades, I guess. Like yeah. Just the upgrades with the TVs. Then I want to do behind the bar next year. I want to upgrade that. So some stuff was put together as it was cool then, but I just want to. And it's kind of like a hobby, you get going on something and then you're like, hey, I made this area look good, so now I got to fix this to match it. And
right, updated so that it doesn't stick out from the rest of the collections.
I do have one more question because Boomy is very big into going on like Facebook Marketplace looking for stuff like this. Do you have a special person that helps you get all those memorabilia you have?
So yeah, I have I think it's called 312 autographs. I get a lot of stuff from them. So they actually go to the signings because they're in Chicago. So you can send them your memorabilia, and sometimes for $50-$60 they'll get it signed for you, ship it back. And so I do a lot of that. I do get a lot on Marketplace. I got 2 Bears seats over in LaPorte, Indiana, and the lady sold them for like $40-$50 to me. And they were old Soldier Field seats, so I jumped on that. No
way!
Wow.
Yeah, I'm to the point now that I'm so full that I just have honestly, I'm just out of room. So
yeah.
Well, Josh, you got 2 more parking spots right behind you there. So
yeah. So.
But you didn't hear that from me. I don't want to be in trouble for taking up more of the garage. So
well, I tried to move over to the other side at one point, but that was a big no. So.
Put the kibosh on that. Well, Josh, we can't thank you enough, man. We really appreciate you joining us, even as a man cave aficionado. I love your page, love your content. So keep doing what you're doing, man. Make sure everyone goes and follows him on all social medias, bearsuperfan44. So we appreciate you being here, man. Thank you so much.
Hey, I had a good time. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.